perspective. You know, we know that he's furious with his brother, and rightly so, but he and Charles have a respectful working relationship. I can't say that they're besties.
Yeah.
And I certainly think it's interesting talking to the likes of Tom Sykes, who takes the view that Harry and Charles are quite similar in nature, both quite rebellious, both quite thin-skinned. Because Harry and Charles are more alike, then Charles is empathetic to Harry, that there's that connection. And what you got with William, who's more like Diana, love or hate Harry, you can't deny that he's something of a rebel himself, and actually always has been.
Yeah.
Always been a troublemaker, always got himself in hot water, no more so than with the book Spare, etc. But I also think one of the reasons why Charles indulges Harry is whether or not they're very similar in nature and makeup is one thing, and is William too much like Diana for Charles to really like and respect him?
Is he? I think that Prince William is very much like Queen Elizabeth.
That's a nice angle.
This reunion? Yeah, it's not happening anytime soon. The power dynamics within the family are shifting, and it's clear the spotlight and the influence are moving squarely toward Prince William. Now, William isn't the type to hold grudges just for the sake of it. He's not a vindictive person by nature, but make no mistake, he is deeply upset with his brother Harry, and frankly, many would say rightfully so. Their rift is intense, no doubt about that. But when you look at William's relationship with King Charles, it's a different story. They have a professional, respectful working relationship that keeps things functioning, even if it's far from a close friendship. What's fascinating here is how William is drawing a pretty firm line when it comes to Harry and Meghan, much tougher than his father is. When you peel back the layers, this isn't just a family disagreement. It feels a lot like a royal showdown. Some experts, like Tom Sykes, highlight an intriguing perspective. Harry and King Charles actually share a lot of traits. Both men are somewhat rebellious, with sensitive egos, dealing with their own complex emotions. Their relationship is tangled because they're more alike than you might think. Charles, unlike William, has a kind of empathy for Harry, a connection born from this shared temperament and history.
Prince William and Catherine pulling ahead of Prince Harry and Meghan in one surprising area. It turns out that their royal foundation is proving remarkably successful in the States. Newly released accounts show its U.S. arm contributed roughly $11.7 million in 2024, while American support reportedly accounted for 44% of the foundation's total income in 2025. The foundation funds projects including William's Homewards Initiative, Catherine's early years work and conservation programs, and its latest account shows significant charitable spending alongside health reserves. So it's an interesting contrast with Harry and Meghan's charity ventures, which went through reconstruction and layoffs last year. Harry also dealing with the chaos of Senabale. We expect that to go to trial potentially at the end of 2027.
Meanwhile, William seems to embody more of his mother Diana's spirit, strong, steady, and uncompromising. This dynamic sets the stage for a royal family drama full of tension, loyalty, and unspoken battles that are shaping the future more than anyone outside the palace can imagine. Love him or not, you can't deny that Harry has always carved out a role as a bit of a maverick, a genuine rebel in his own right. For as long as anyone can remember, he's been the one stirring the pot, finding himself tangled in controversy, headlines, and heated debates. But the fascinating part is, beneath all that noise, there's a method to his madness. When organizations decide to team up with him, it's not just for the flash or the fame. Take, for example, his involvement with initiatives like the Earthshot Prize, a global effort to inspire environmental innovation, or his dedication to tackling long-term homelessness through projects like Homewards. These are initiatives grounded firmly in thorough research, clear, measurable results, and a remarkable level of unwavering commitment. Harry's work adheres to a consistency that often goes unnoticed amid the media frenzy.
But of course, Meghan wasn't quite done with acting up for the cameras, and she knew she was being filmed as she was, again, dancing as Harry sat down at the table, making sure that the attention was on her as she screamed like she was a 15-year-old at her first concert. And in another thing that she did, which is more 15-year-old influencer, she decided to film her place setting. But what I found was very rude was someone was in the middle of an auction at the time. This is where people are listening. This is where people are bidding. I mean,
Now, while Harry's brand of rebellious activism runs its course, what's happening on the other side? The Archwell Foundation, their non-profit arm, has faced significant challenges. In recent times, it underwent a substantial internal reshuffle, accompanied by notable layoffs. The foundation has been visibly struggling to maintain any meaningful momentum, let alone land strong corporate partnerships or widespread support. In contrast, William has taken a different approach entirely. He steers clear of chasing after fleeting trends and instead commits himself to causes that unfold over decades. His focus is on steady progress, nurturing initiatives that evolve and grow with time. Meanwhile, Harry's public appearances have increasingly felt like isolated, somewhat scripted events episodes that leave an air of mystery about their real impact. Take the David Foster Gala as a case in point. While many attendees were genuinely there to support a serious, important cause, Harry and Meghan seemed more absorbed in capturing photos, filming videos.
Buckingham Palace plot to reunite Prince Harry and Prince William is going to fail. That is the verdict of Prince Harry's biographer, Angela Levin, who joins me now. Angela, this story has really divided the royal community. Okay, so you have on one hand a group of people who are absolutely convinced that King Charles is working behind the scenes via this new Deputy Private Secretary, Theo Rycroft, to try and bring Harry and even Meghan Markle back into the royal fold. The view, Angela, is that they are politically aligned, that King Charles III wants his legacy to be about union, not to be about the divide. So that's the one side. Then you have the other group of people who say absolutely not. And even if King Charles is more personally, how should I put it, susceptible to a bit of manipulation by Harry and Meghan who want to come back, it's simply not going to happen because a lot of the power is moving towards William.
And carefully curating moments for their own spotlight. The staged hallway shots and selfie-filled videos often drew attention away from the very people or issues they claimed to be championing. It's as if the focus was less on the beneficiaries or the cause itself and more on creating a carefully controlled public image. This contrast in approach paints a revealing picture of the two brothers' diverging paths, one dedicated to steady, long-term work, the other navigating the complex world of public perception and media moments. Picture this. You step into one of the most elite charity galas on the planet, where every handshake carries weight and every conversation could shape the future of millions. But instead of engaging with the cause, ignoring the massive sums raised, bypassing the inspiring work that's on full display, you pull out your phone, yes, your phone, to capture your grand entrance for social media. And then, acting genuinely surprised when the major donors, those who funnel millions into vital causes, suddenly tighten their purse strings and stop supporting the event.
Now let's have a look at last night's performance, the bravura performance. Great acting job over in New York, in fact, from Harry and Meghan, who took a private jet, of course, to New York in order to pick up an award for fighting racism. Here we go.
Actually, to be honest with you, Kerry, I actually thought we were just going on date night, so I found it quite weird that we're sharing the room with 1,500 people. I mean, we don't get out much because our kids are so small and young, so this is completely unexpected. But it's nice to share date night with all of you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for bringing me on this very special date night.
You're welcome.
Excuse me. Sorry, just had a vomit there. We don't get out much because we have young children. Well, they managed to come all the way to Britain and Germany and then stay around for quite a long period of time without their kids, so I'm not sure I believe that one.
Seriously, who in their right mind would trade a seat at such a powerful table, a table that influences not just moments, but generations for a handful of fleeting likes or a momentary headline? It's baffling on a level that's hard to wrap your head around. I'm speaking from experience here. Imagine giving up a place at one of the most exclusive, influential tables on earth, where centuries of tradition, duty, and impact converge all so your spouse can focus on selling candles, rosé, and gourmet sprinkles online. You exchange the honor and influence of the British monarchy for what? The glow of a smartphone screen? The clinking of wine glasses on Instagram? It's almost surreal to consider. The cold, unvarnished truth facing Harry is this. His brother views the monarchy not as a stage for personal ambitions or fleeting fame, but as a solemn responsibility, a public trust that demands loyalty, discretion, and protection at any cost. King Charles III and those who stand with him are deeply committed to preserving this legacy, ensuring it remains a symbol of stability and service for generations to come. This isn't about family feuds or personal drama. It's about safeguarding an institution that represents history, duty, and a greater purpose far beyond personal gain.
Pretty wild, by the way, that a father needs someone to support him to meet his son.
Right.
That's how emotionally unsafe life is with the Sussexes.
Right.
But a witness.
A witness.
So that recollections may vary. That Harry and Meghan can't lie about what happened and about what was said and call someone else racist, or say that the tea leaves, the tea bags were racist, or the clotted cream was racist, or the cutlery was racist.
Which are all big concerns.
I've seen racist cutlery and it's ugly. Highgrove is not the beginning of the end of it, and I think that the Sussexes are going to have to tread very carefully. The other interesting thing
Do you feel like they are treading very carefully because Meghan pushing back on Martha Stewart, saying, I overheard her talking about the trip. Now, we know she was not supposed to talk about the trip, which is why the story became such a huge deal, because she allegedly broke the rules.
The conversation centered on unity rather than division that was the driving principle for one side. They believed the focus should be on bringing the family together, healing old wounds, and moving forward as a single, stronger unit. On their side, there was hope that Charles, despite the complicated family dynamics, could be open to reconciliation, even if Harry and Meghan's desire to return stirred some tension. However, there was an opposing camp, firmly entrenched in skepticism, convinced that no matter how much goodwill Charles might show, the royal structure was shifting irreversibly toward William's leadership. For them, the idea of Harry walking back into the fold alone was just not on the table. The power, the future, it seemed to be sliding toward the elder brother William, whose standing and role were steadily solidifying. And here's the twist. Queen Camilla was right there in that very room. Why was that so significant? Because just months prior, Harry's book Spare had painted her in an unflattering light, likening her to a classic wicked stepmother figure, a label she had no intention of accepting without pushback. This time, Camilla made sure she was an official witness, not merely a silent observer. She wanted to safeguard the truth, to prevent a repeat of public mischaracterizations and falsehoods being spun in the press.
The showgirl and the prince, how much King Charles loved his sons. The Daily Mail writes, having spent time at Balmoral with most of the senior members of the royal family, Ruthie recalled Charles's hands-on parenting style, saying, I watched Charles play rough and tumble with William and Harry, then aged 10 and 8, in the Balmoral corridors. He clearly loved those boys, and they were squealing with joy as Daddy chased them. This is my favorite story. In her novel, Charles, Victim or Villain, Penny Jr. claimed the monarch was often left with muddied trousers after enjoying a session of rough and tumble with his sons. She wrote, whenever Charles arrived at home at Highgrove by helicopter, it would land on the front field where sheep graze. As soon as William and Harry heard it overhead, they would come running out to meet him. Once it landed safely, they would race across the field and jump into his arms for a hug, smearing one suit after another with the sheep droppings they had trotted in on.
Her presence was a strategic move, a protective measure to keep the record straight and make sure nothing would be twisted into sensational headlines about uncomfortable tensions, alleged slights, or controversial claims, especially not to feed the sensationalist American tabloids hungry for drama. The setting itself was deliberate, the place chosen to ensure that privacy and propriety would be respected, as this wasn't just another tabloid story, it was about history in the making. Highgrove isn't just any stately home, it's far more than that. For King Charles, it is his private refuge, a personal haven where the outside world fades away. This is the sanctuary where he genuinely connects with nature, whispering to his plants, tending carefully to his flourishing gardens, and soaking in the peaceful rhythms of life. It's a place filled with rich family history, one that holds the laughter and mischievous games of his sons William and Harry, from when they were small boys playing endless rounds of hide and seek beneath those very same branches, long before any rifts emerged between them.
Away. I mean, I love these stories. I believe that they're true. I don't think that they were out there as much as they could have been back in the day, Rupert, because I just think that King Charles didn't want those stories out there. He was, it was Diana that was kind of pushing those personal stories much more so than King Charles, in my opinion.
To see such a deeply intimate and beloved space transformed into a tactical backdrop for a high-stakes family showdown struck many close to the institution as a grave misstep. They felt that using Highgrove in that way breached an unspoken code. It is sacred ground, a symbol of family unity and love, not a setting for conflict or public posturing. If any serious discussions were necessary, insiders argue, those should have taken place at a neutral, discreet location, far removed from the echoes of childhood memories and shared history. At its core, King Charles's role here is profoundly human. He is not just a monarch, but a father and grandfather, guided by the deep, unbreakable bonds of blood. His motivation springs from that quiet, heartfelt place, a longing to maintain family ties, and a grandfather's gentle wish to embrace and cherish his grandchildren, Archie and Lilibet, whom he has barely had the chance to hold and know. Charles's nature is fundamentally kind and gentle, marked by a somewhat idealistic hope that love and connection might heal old wounds. Yet, his approach sometimes reveals a naivety, perhaps underestimating the complexities and hardened emotions swirling beneath the surface. This tension between his tender intentions and harsh realities adds a poignant layer to the unfolding drama, making the story not just about royal duty or public image, but the universal, timeless challenges of family and forgiveness. There's this hope floating around that a few extended handshakes.
Harry, until that time, seems like he was a happy child, even though his parents had gone through a very public divorce. There was you couldn't get away from it. It was a media frenzy. And then obviously Diana's love life was always cause for speculation. I mean, it was a mad old time. So I'm glad that we've been able to read some positive reports about Charles's parenting skills. And actually, if you move it forward, the one thing you get a sense that William and Catherine are keen to make sure that their family feel the love, as it were. And you see pictures. They are very protective. It's clearly a close-knit family unit.
Paired with some carefully choreographed gestures, might finally close the chapter on what's become a relentless media frenzy. But Prince William sees this whole unfolding drama through a completely different, razor-sharp lens. He's not just any member of the royal family, he's the future king, the bedrock of the institution, the unshakable anchor that holds everything together when storms rage. To William, the monarchy isn't just about tradition or ceremony. It's a living, breathing entity that must survive into the future. And while his father's gentle, forgiving nature makes him a beloved figure at home, William understands all too well that kindness alone isn't enough to protect the crown from the deep fractures tearing at its foundation. Think about it. The monarchy operates much like a massive global corporation. Imagine a top executive who, over the course of 4 years, has been publicly airing grievances, criticizing the leadership team, leaking sensitive internal documents, and even publishing a tell-all book revealing behind-the-scenes battles with the CEO. Now imagine that same executive walking back into the company headquarters, expecting to simply reclaim their old office and role as if nothing had happened. It's almost unthinkable. The board and the staff wouldn't hesitate. They wouldn't even allow him through the front doors. In the world of business, there are lines that once crossed, burn bridges beyond repair. William's perspective is rooted in that kind of stark reality. The institution isn't just fragile, it's vulnerable. And survival means making hard choices, setting boundaries, and sometimes refusing to welcome back the very person whose actions have threatened its future. At the security gate, the consequences were clear and uncompromising. His security badge would be cancelled, his parking pass permanently taken away, and security personnel would accompany him off the royal grounds without hesitation or delay. This was not just a matter of protocol, but a firm statement about maintaining standards. Why, many ask, should the British monarchy, an institution that embodies centuries of history, stability, and the gentle yet powerful influence of a global nation, operate with anything less than the strict discipline and professionalism you'd find in any well-run business? Allowing Harry and Meghan back into official royal roles after the storms that have unfolded feels precisely like a scene from a cautionary tale. It's the classic fox in the henhouse scenario. You simply don't invite back the very individual who almost set fire to the barn, expecting them to then watch over the matches responsibly. What makes Prince William's resolve unshakable goes much deeper than the headlines or royal protocol. He carries with him a lifetime of memories, etched from their shared boyhood days spent roaming the grounds of Balmoral and Highgrove. These are not merely places, they are sacred backdrops to a brotherhood forged in both joy and hardship. The weight they both carry includes the unthinkable loss of their mother, Princess Diana, in 1997, a loss that was not only deeply personal but played out under the relentless, intrusive gaze of the world's media. In the somber procession that followed, both brothers walked side by side behind her coffin, their young shoulders bearing a grief that few can truly understand. Their upbringing was shaped by a rigorous and sometimes difficult parenting style, one that demanded resilience and discipline, molding them into the men they are today. This shared history is a major part of why William remains steadfast, guarding the legacy and traditions of the monarchy with an unwavering commitment. Contrary to the popular narratives that paint their father as distant and emotionally unavailable, those who truly knew him remember a very different man, one who was warm, affectionate, and deeply involved in his children's everyday lives. Multiple first-hand accounts reveal intimate moments of Prince Charles chasing young Harry around the sprawling lawns of Highgrove, laughing and playing tag under the open sky. There are vivid images of him wrapping his arms tightly around Harry, comforting him, and even getting his clothes muddy during playful scuffles. These aren't just fleeting memories, they are cherished fragments of a family life rich with connection and love, far from the cold, detached figure some revisions suggest. Prince William holds these memories close, and this is exactly why Harry's public portrayal of their upbringing strikes a nerve that runs far deeper than just sibling rivalry or political differences. Claims that their father never embraced Harry, or that their family was emotionally barren don't just seem unfair, they feel like a calculated distortion, a carefully crafted reimagining of their shared childhood, designed to hook readers and boost streaming numbers. William is not motivated by petty jealousy or personal spite. Instead, he feels a profound sense of betrayal, as if sacred family moments have been carved apart and sold piece by piece in headlines and interviews. It's a wound that cuts far beyond politics or public image. It's about the integrity of their history together. And let's be candid about what's really unfolding here. Harry's recent, seemingly urgent push for reconciliation with the royal family isn't just a simple desire for peace or understanding. It feels like a strategic attempt to reclaim a place in the spotlight he once had. Behind the scenes, this move carries the weight of a complex mix of longing, ambition, and the very human need for belonging. It's no surprise, then, that these actions spark intense reactions from confusion to frustration, because the story is far from over, and all eyes remain fixed on what will happen next. This isn't a story about sincere, heartfelt redemption. It's not about sitting down with Prince William and saying, "I made a huge mistake, I hurt you deeply, and I want to take full responsibility." That kind of genuine reckoning? It's completely missing here. Instead, what we're seeing is a calculated pursuit of access, a strategy aimed at leveraging the powerful royal brand to recapture lost respect and restore what's been chipped away from their public image, especially in America. The moment they stepped away from the royal family, the reality hit them hard. Stripped of that unmistakable royal aura, the flashing cameras, the stern security escorts, the elegant palace backdrops, and those dazzling state dinners, they suddenly found themselves exposed as just another affluent couple. But one caught in the relentless swirl of media, where countless others are vying and thriving with far more skill and polish. Look closely at the stark difference in how the world embraces them versus the warm regard reserved for Prince William and Catherine. When William appears on the scene, whether he's visiting shelters for the homeless or hosting global leaders at the Earthshot Prize, it's a seamless affair. No drama unfolds. No chaotic headlines dominate, and you won't see any staged moments crafted purely for show. William embodies the qualities of steady responsibility and unwavering commitment to his duties, a calm presence rooted in genuine service. Meanwhile, the other side remains tangled in a narrative of optics over authenticity, desperately clinging to the fading glow of a name that once meant everything. From a young age, he was deeply shaped by the steady, emotionally grounded discipline of his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II. It wasn't just about wearing a crown or holding a prestigious title. In fact, he came to understand that true royalty lies far beyond the surface. Real nobility is about resilience, humility, and dedication, the kind of unwavering commitment to duty that means keeping your head down, rolling up your sleeves, and working tirelessly for the people you serve. It's a lifelong promise to put others first, even when the spotlight is harsh and criticism relentless. Despite the challenges at home, including his parents' very public and difficult divorce, he still managed a happy childhood. Of course, this wasn't an easy time. The media frenzy surrounding their family was intense and constant, making privacy nearly impossible. Public speculation about Princess Diana's relationships only added to the swirling storm. It really was a chaotic and turbulent phase, a mad old time for everyone involved. The immense pressure and scrutiny might have broken most people, but he endured it, quietly learning and growing through the adversity. What's heartening, and something that has finally come through in recent years, is the positive light shining on his role as a father. Stories highlighting Charles's dedication to parenting offer a more complete and compassionate picture. Looking forward to the next generation, there's this remarkable sense that William and Catherine are determined not to repeat the struggles of the past. They genuinely want to create a family filled with warmth, love, and strong bonds. The images we see of them together as a family speak volumes about their close connection and protective nature. It's clear they're building a nurturing environment where love and loyalty take center stage, breaking the cycle and forging a modern royal family grounded in genuine care and commitment. As we reflect on this journey from the weight of tradition and public scrutiny to a renewed focus on love and family, the story leaves us with a powerful message. True strength comes from enduring hardships with grace and using those lessons to create a kinder, closer future. There's something inspiring about witnessing this evolution in a family we all thought we knew, reminding us that growth and healing are always possible, no matter the legacy. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the real story behind the headlines, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more compelling content, and share this video with friends who appreciate honest, heartfelt storytelling. We love hearing your thoughts. Drop a comment below and join the conversation. Together, let's keep exploring the fascinating tales that shape our world.